Hello friends, this is Amrita from ixamBee. Today in this video we will be discussing about SEBI Phase 2 legal exam that was conducted on 27th Feb and have an exam analysis. First of all, let us see the exam level that was there in SEBI Phase 2. It was moderate enough. This we can conclude from a generic view that we have received from all the reviews from all the students who have appeared for the exam. This is of course a subjective view which can vary from person to person. Overall, we can conclude that the questions were from important topics and points only. Questions were actually predictable, but the options that were there in the respective questions were very near to each other, and the questions were ultimately confusing the minds of the students. Though you have read that content in advance, very well clear with the concept in your mind, but the options that were very near to each other have put you in a state of confusion while you are solving the paper. This was the overall view, that the paper was moderate to difficult level. Now, the number of questions that were asked from respective subjects, you can have a look tentatively as per the data that is available with us up to date. Was 5 questions from Constitution were asked, 3 from Contract, 6 from Torts, Consumer Protection, Arbitration, Transfer of Property and Trusts altogether. Legal maxims, jurisprudence, administrative law, 3 questions were asked. Evidence, CPC, CRPC, 3 questions were asked. Securities law, which is another very important section of the exam, 5 questions were asked. Corporate law, 4, and taxation law, 2 questions were asked. Taxation has been added entirely in phase 2 and had a weightage of 5%, that is of 50%, which comes out to be 2 questions ultimately. If you have more number of questions that can be added to this, you can please mention it in the comment box of this video. Now let us have a look at the types of questions that were asked. From constitutional law, we had around 3 questions, and all these 3 questions are from the very important celebrated topics. Preamble, very important question, very important topic, asked in phase 1 as well. After the 42nd amendment, what were the changes in the preamble? Types of writs, very common question. Article 37 deals with justiciability of direct principles of state policy. Direct article based question was asked. From torts and consumer protection, situation based question was asked relating to the maxim voluntary non-fit injuria. Consumer Protection Act, very important concepts. Questions were asked directly from these concepts. Then from the maxims, very common term amicus curiae that we all are very well acquainted with was asked, which means friend of the court, a person who is a neutral party who can assist the court in matters of fact as well as law. From contracts, pledge, bailies duties, acceptance, revocation, such kind of important topics were asked. In securities law, direct questions from the act sections were picked up and direct questions were asked. Presiding officer of SAT, very important question from the act was directly picked and posed before you. Thus, overall, the questions that were asked from securities law also were actually easy than expected. Coming to administrative law, jurisprudence, various questions like judicial member of administrative tribunal, golden rule of interpretation. From transfer of property, question on suit of foreclosure was asked. And from arbitration, when arbitration proceedings shall commence, that is actually an interesting question relating to section 17 of this act, Arbitration and Conciliation Act 1996. As soon as the notice is served to the defaulting party of the arbitration agreement, the arbitration proceedings commence. Next, from trust law, which is specifically added in phase 2, one question relating to duty of the trustee was asked. Corporate law, another important section of phase 2, important questions relating to quorum in meetings, directors, then direct definition of nominal capital, and IBC. this was also added in phase 2 syllabus, was not a part of phase 1 syllabus, and the solution related question to IPC was asked in the exam. Relating to evidence, section 57, that is judicial notice of facts and laws that are there in existence that can be a part of judicial notice, that was asked directly. Section number was given. Taxation law, 2 questions that were asked were related to which of the following is not a capital good, and relating to very important and famous concepts of taxation law, previous year and assessment year were asked. Now, if we look at overall analysis, the questions were asked directly from the Act and were as per the indicative weightages that are prescribed in the SEBI notification. Everything was in lines and within the demarcations that are there for each subject specifically. Out of syllabus questions were not there as such, and now we can have a look at how is ixamBee helpful to us. ixamBee guidance was helpful as the guidance and suggestions by expert faculty at ixamBee was constantly reminding the students to read the acts thoroughly and important topics. Important topics and concepts which are questionable were discussed in class and also marked in the notes. That the notes that were prescribed and provided by ixamBee consisted of exactly the wordings that were used in the bare acts, and also we had tried to simplify it by marking the important keywords in the notes which would easily come into the notice of the students and help the student relate in the exam while solving the question paper. Strategy for studies and the integrated study plans were provided by ixamBee, which have helped the student formulate a clear picture of what has to be studied from exam point of view. Mock test questions that were provided match the level of questions in exam, comprising of situation based questions as well as giving section based question experience to the students comprehensively. Now what next? Next, without wasting time, analyze your performance. Candidates equaling 3 times the number of vacancies shall be shortlisted in order of merit for the interview level. Overall, paper 1 and paper 2 minimum cutoffs, as you can see on the screen, are 30 and 40% respectively. Aggregate 40% for the entire paper. Coming to the legal stream, the number of vacancies are 34 and approximately calls for interview will be 3 times the number of existing vacancies, that is 102. So the number of students, if we have a look, would those who have written for the phase 2 exam may be 1175 in the entire nation, out of which you can expect a call if in paper 1 you have attempted all the questions with more than 40 marks, and paper 2 you have attempted 35 plus questions with 95% of accuracy. Interview guidance at ixamBee, you can come to us. That is, we have conducted mock interviews for various other exams along with SEBI, that is NABARD, RBI, and also have had highest selection rate after mock interviews. We have expert faculty panel conducting mock interviews. These are the reviews from happy selected candidates who have had an amazing learning experience at ixamBee. And we have expert guidance for interviews, Dr. Sanjeev Sharma, who is expert for English language and interview guidance. Then we have Dr. C.P. Mohan, who has experience with NABARD of 40 years and is also guiding at interview levels for ixamBee. We have ixamBee expert faculty, Mr. Chandra Prakash Joshi, Arunama Sinha and Prachi Agrawal, who have been experts in their various fields and working sectors. We have expert legal faculty to the right, and to the left you can see is for descriptive English. Thus we provide overall guidance relating to SEBI course, and to know more you can contact us at this number, which you can note it down, and stay tuned to our ixamBee YouTube channel for further guidance and updates relating to government exams as we make it easy over here. Thank you.